I'm actually glad you guys are here today because you know you guys are both dope. Great. I love talking music with both of y'all because y'all really do have a love appreciation of music like similar to us. So I just wanted to have like a little convo real quick because the 10-year anniversary of Days Before Rodeo just passed, and like that's a big project for us. And were you guys like tapped into Travis Scott like when that album first came out?
Definitely.
Yeah,
So you guys were kind of like outside with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Travis Scott, we were Travis Scott fans for sure.
Yeah. So like, what was your guys? You know, this is for you too. Like, what was your first initial reaction when that project first drops?
Okay.
You
No pressure. No pressure.
So for me, I remember when that project came out, and like I was already a big fan of Alfaro, and I remember kind of feeling like, for me, my ears, like Alfaro, I think had more of like a diverse sound that I liked, but I felt like he was a better artist on Days Before Rodeo.
Mhm.
So like I appreciated the improvement. So I liked Days Before Rodeo at the time, but I think for me when Rodeo came out, I was like, this is better because it's like a mix of sounds. But he's still elevating what he's doing. But it still kind of had that creativity and that mixture of sounds that Alfaro had. So to me, that was better. And I feel like I remember when Rodeo came out, people were saying Days Before Rodeo was better.
Yeah.
And I just never, that was never me. But at the time of just Days Before Rodeo, I thought it was a dope tape. I thought it was like an improvement, but I just didn't like it more than Alfaro at the time.
I think when Alfaro first came out, I was pretty conflicted because I had high expectations for him. I was super like really into Travis Scott and his music. So his first project, I was really hyped. And I remember hearing him being like a little let down from what I heard. But it wasn't until like some years later when I went back to it where I really had an appreciation for what he was doing because I think he had a lot of ambition on that album with the sounds he was trying to pull off. And I don't think he was there just yet as an artist to fully craft it out.
Yeah.
And so I think when Days Before Rodeo was coming out, I was kind of expecting him to kind of dive more into that, but then he went a completely different way. And at first, I think it threw me off a little bit because that wasn't what I was used to him.
Yeah, for sure.
But after a while, I was like, no, this is actually like super dope too. And it helped. That also helped put me on the Young Thug.
Oh yeah, that was like, I remember Skyfall being like a lot of people's favorite song by Thug at the time because Thug had a lot of songs out. Skyfall was one of the ones that stood out.
So like before Days Before Rodeo came out, like that's when Stoner was starting to pop and all that, and he was doing the language, and so he had a lot of music. Yeah,
language. I love that.
He had a lot of music out, right? And some songs were like, oh, this is really good, and then other songs were like, this is really shitty. It was such a hard spectrum for me at that time as a Young Thug. And then once Days Before Rodeo came out, I really got more invested into like what he was doing because I liked what he was doing on that project.
Yeah, both of his because he had two. He had Mamacita and Skyfall. Both of those features were great.
Amazing.
Wasn't Rich Gang a thing before that? So like I remember B-Joe listening to Rich Gang and listening to hella Rich Homie Quan. Like the build up before that, like Atlanta is like really popping and shit like that, starting to bud, and it's like shit. It's anything from like Father, Sunny Digital was doing
Future.
It was like so much just
like
popping.
Man, that Atlanta from like 2014 to like 16 doesn't even feel like a real place because if you just really break it down to like how many movements were happening
at one time,
and they're all in this one city. So like over here you got Travis Scott, Young Thug, Metro Boomin, Rich Homie Quan occasionally. You got Father and Awful over here with Playboy Cardi. You got Future over here with Metro Boomin as well. You have Migos over here. It was just like all these amazing artists in one place having their own moment, and it's like. It almost seemed like they didn't have enough space to make it happen, but they made it work.
Yeah, that was a crazy era just because it was like, I think when you think about the mixtape era in general, it would be like a rapper who you don't even care that much about, but they dropped a tape that you listen to for like 2 months. Yeah. You don't even care about them.
Yeah.
But it's like, even the rapper you don't care about was able to catch you with a tape because so many people were dropping high quality tapes at that time.
Yeah. So even if you didn't like that sound or what they were doing, like, there's probably something on that project you're gonna fuck with really heavy.
Yeah, because everybody at that time was just, well, not everybody, but a lot of people at that time were like really aiming high with like what they were doing in the music, you know?
And so how did you feel about Days Before Rodeo when it first came out?
I had too much caffeine, I won't lie.
Hey.
I drank like 2 of these and some coffee. So
Real Geeker,
please sponsor me.
The Yerba?
Yeah, real geek hours. But no, I loved it. Especially when it came out. I was a big Travis Scott fan coming up. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got to kind of watch his journey in real time, just finding out who he was from like 16 Chapels.
Yeah.
Just random songs that are kind of deep cuts now. And then seeing him link up with Kanye and kind of take it to like the maximum level was just like a cool journey. I never would have expected bro to kind of switch his sound because I feel like originally when I found him, it was kind of more niche, kind of like
very specific,
Toro Imoa-esque. You know what I mean? It's like some weird internet music, exactly.
Yeah, and see, the cool thing about like also that time period is that SoundCloud was coming up. And so like that was the point where you had like mainstream artists like working with SoundCloud rappers. So like he did shit with King Cruel at one point around that time. That Tuna State. Yeah. He was doing shit with Chuck English.
That remix.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out King Cruel.
You know,
shout out Archie Marshall. He just turned. I really love your music. I know we talking about Days Before Rodeo, but I really love that shit. You be killing that shit.
But yeah, so it's like that. It was just a really creative time, and you know, I think the knock on Travis Scott, even to this day, is that he doesn't really have like his own really original sound that you could say this is Travis Scott's sound. Because every sound I think he gets is usually from pulling influence from another sound or another artist that he admires and respects. And so I think Al Farrell was a lot of Kid Cudi, Kanye.
Yeah,
he goes to Atlanta and does Days Before Rodeo with the Atlanta sound a little bit, with the trap sound.
It's like more of a interpretation. Like it's like a profile of him of like these are like my influences. Where like Days Before Rodeo, I definitely seen like a shift in the quality, and then just kind of the energy.
Yeah,
of it. Like everything behind Days Before Rodeo was like that's when he was like
that really.
Oh, we throwing up or like we about to do the crazy shows. Like he started riding and shit like that. I love it.
Because I think that project really changed like how live performances were going forward, because his shows were so high energy, especially the rodeo tour with Thug. Like that shit was just like legendary for how rowdy it got, and that kind of like became what a lot of artists today still try to do and try to emulate, even if it doesn't translate to a good performance vocal wise. Like the energy is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I feel like that is Travis Scott's like appeal. Is I do feel like I get what people mean when they say he like takes a lot from other artists, but I feel like it's kind of a cycle, because I think especially like if you look at after Astroworld, I feel like a lot of big rap albums pulled a lot from like Astroworld in terms of like its sound, its production, the way that they were structuring the albums. So I feel like Travis Scott took influence early on, but I feel like a lot of people also took influence from Travis too as he progressed.
I think maybe around Birds is when people started biting his style a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of like how he sounded, the auto-tune, and like how he's performing.
Maybe even before that, because like him working on Yeezus or like certain Sean songs, and like I feel like Dark Sky Paradise was definitely influenced by Trav and that whole aesthetic. You know?
Yeah. I always called Yeezus like the Travis Scott album.
I think that's what a lot of people say. I remember a lot of people didn't like Yeezus because of that.
He had like 6 production credits on that project.
Yeah. I mean,
and if you listen to Al Farrell came out before Yeezus.
Yeah.
And it's just like almost either or it could be like a copy of the other.
Yeah. At a certain point, it was like, bro, like no one really had 808s like Travis for some reason. Nobody,
like not even Kanye. Kanye could never get the drums.
Yeah, Kanye was in interviews like, yo, my drums don't knock like Travis Scott's.
Like, it's like, what program does he have?
Yeah,
like, what's the code?
So,
what's the answer?
What's your favorite song off of Days Before Rodeo?
Drugs Used to Try It.
Drugs Used to Try It.
Yeah, for sure.
See,
it's very rich.
The funny thing about that song is that it actually was underrated in its discography at one point. And then I think around Astroworld or maybe Birds, people discovered it more, and then it stopped being underrated. And then people today still claim it's the most underrated song he has. And it's like that's probably his most popular now.
Yeah, it's not.
Gray is underrated.
Gray's a dope song.
I would say Gray. I would say Astro Thunder at this point.
Astro Thunder's a good song.
That's a great song.
Yeah, Astro Thunder is amazing. Or Impossible. Impossible is a good sleeper. Astro Thunder might be underrated.
What's your favorite Days Before Rodeo song though?
Days Before Rodeo? Mm-hmm. I always loved The Prayer a lot. The intro.
Yeah.
I like this pocket and like how the eerie the beat is. It's a great intro.
Yeah, Candyman sample.
And then, bro,
who else is here?
Did y'all see he took T.I. off that Quintana?
Yeah. It was kind of weird just because I'm so used to hearing it with T.I.
Because the beat switch kind of plays into the outro.
Yeah.
And so if you take it out, it's just like out of nowhere where the beat just cuts.
Yeah. I guess I can understand like wanting a version of that without T.I. because it's kind of a different vibe. But I feel like after 10 years, that's just how I'm used to hearing the song.
Yeah, and it's kind of he kept all the other features.
Maybe he couldn't clear it.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, because T.I. So how T.I. kind of described their relationship is that he's like Travis Scott's like kind of hard headed. Like we clash a lot, but he's really good at what he does and he knows his vision and what he wants. So like I just assist him however he needs, and that's is what it is. But it kind of seemed like he started treating T.I. like a annoying stepdad once he got cool with Kanye.
Yeah, because I feel like he definitely wanted to sign to Good, but the Grand Hustle deal got offered first.
Yeah,
he's like, I need this bread right now.
And then let
me run this play.
He had to look his name next to Iggy Azalea and B.O.B. every day on the label roster. He's like, just get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
I feel like
it's a
he
bad
definitely
roster.
carried it like he was good music.
Yeah,
career,
he definitely felt more good music than he
because
ever
he
felt
was
Grand
signed
Hustle.
to good music as a producer.
Very good beats.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, which
For
ironic, he
that
don't really produce
sauce,
nothing.
for that
He
backbone.
ain't produced shit during that time for Kanye.
Kanye needed them drums. He was like, "Look, bro,
Give me the sauce.
come over here."
Apparently, he did that little beat switch in Mercy.
Travis?
Yeah,
I've never heard that before. That's crazy.
yeah, he said on his Tumblr back in the day. I was super tapped in, bro.
That's dope.
I was-
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but do you guys? Or so, how do you guys feel about Days Before Rodeo today? Now that it's been 10 plus years or 10 years,
Still holds
do you
up.
still feel the same? Do you,
I think that shit is gas to me. I was hella excited to see it on streaming service.
yeah,
I think it's a classic just based off like nostalgia. I don't know if like I was listening to it. Maybe not all the songs are my favorite now. You know what I mean?
Mhm. What's a
so I
song
think
that
he,
you,
like?
you aren't so high on? Just out of curiosity.
Which one? I think Basement.
Basement Freestyle.
Yeah.
baby.
Back
Yeah. Like stuff like that
Back
maybe
on
didn't
that
age the
dirt.
best for me, but you know, I think it just has that. Like when I listen to it, I get transported to where I was. I was in high school, just hanging out with the homies,
Yeah.
like, just trying to find whatever's like what's the freshest stuff out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it is very like top heavy. Like the first 6 tracks is like where you get Thug and
Rich Homie.
yeah, Rich Homie. You get
Drugs,
like
You Should
all
Try
of
It.
you get Skyfall. You get
Mm.
Don't Try. It's very dense, but then it's like just Travis towards the end of it, and then that's where he's kind of like exposed for like where he was at the time. You know.
Yeah, there's I like Backyard on the second half.
Backyard's great.
Yeah.
That's probably some of his best rapping.
that's a great
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
I mean, I feel like Travis not like a great rapper like that.
Nah, he can flow though. I always like that. What you got? What's up? You got a hot take?
I mean, he makes really good music. I love his
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Yeah. Music,
yeah,
music, the
it's great-
Sonics.
it's great music.
The Sonics, bro. The Sonics. But
Yeah.
So like, where would you guys rank it in discography? Is it his top 3, top 4?
Not for me. But I mean, it's like I think he's very consistent in making
Yeah.
projects. So
I don't think he's really had a bad. I don't think Utopia is even a bad project.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, it's like I don't know. It definitely okay. Like I think Birds has higher highs than Days Before Rodeo, but I feel like there's way more consistent. Like Days Before Rodeo, like I like most of the songs.
Mm.
Whereas Birds is kind of like I don't know.
Some
there's-
song I could do without like the
Yeah.
Bryson Tiller song and shit.
Kind of like drones on to me. Like listening to it, like some of the songs sound too much alike to me.
I get that. I feel like Birds at the time, especially coming after
I loved
Rodeo.
it when it came out.
Yeah, it was
Me
fun.
too.
I think for me, it was like coming after Rodeo. I was expecting what he did on Astroworld.
Yeah.
But I get why he did Birds because I feel like he needed to do Birds to get to the
that
level,
level, yeah.
to do something like Astroworld. But yeah, I feel like it's probably a more consistent project than Birds, even though I don't think it has as many like highlights. But I'd probably rank it above Birds and definitely Al Farrow, even though I did like Al Farrow a lot at the time.
Yeah. Travis Scott, man. What? What's wrong, Roger? Birds is a really good album, but in his discography, it looks a little weak.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like for me, there's songs on Birds. I'm just like, I don't know, they're not my favorite.
yeah, like it's usually towards like the end of it,
Yeah. So
like
there's
Guidance and shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good songs on Birds though. I mean, like I'm
It was,
trying
it was a great way back was a great moment. Coordinate with Andre 3000.
Coordinate.
Coordinate.
He was on
The ends. The first one. Yeah, Coordinate.
But Coordinate, I like
Coordinate.
SDP, Sweet.
Smoke some, drink some, pop some.
Yeah.
Sweet. Pick up the phone.
Pick
I
Up
like
the
that
Phone was
single.
dope.
Wonderful with the Weeknd. No, not you.
I mean, no, it's like the type of Travis I like. I'm more like 90210,
Mhm.
Maria, I'm drunk.
Yeah, Maria, I'm
Stop-
drunk.
Stop trying to be God. Like I
Stop
like when he
trying
gets
to
in
be
like a more
God.
like weird bag. I
Yeah.
feel like in Birds, like SDP and Sweet, like that hits that spot for me on Birds, but
It wasn't
it's not
enough.
it's not as much.
It wasn't like a drugs you should try it or like
I like Goosebumps
Impossible.
too. I love Goosebumps.
What is the song that everybody memes off of Astro World?
Sicko Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It was
Sicko Mode.
yeah,
Before
Goosebumps.
Sicko Mode.
Goosebumps
Yeah.
is a great song, I think what it is, like it kind of is something that I almost forget about because it's been played so much. But Goosebumps is a great song. I love Goosebumps.
It is. It was a great moment when it first came out.
Especially
I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way it did either.
Because I feel like it didn't blow up that big off rip. I feel like
once he started touring,
it got bigger and bigger as time went on. Because I feel like there was a point where like when Sicko Mode came out, I feel like there was like a clear gap between Sicko Mode and Goosebumps. But now those songs are kind of looked at on the same level.
Yeah, like they're similar to it, like what they bring. Yeah,
it's nostalgia now because it's like we so far away from it that it's like you can kind of hear them next to each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that Kendrick verse that he did.
I like that too. That was a cool little feature because he did that, and then he had the Isaiah Rashad feature that dropped like
that was
the
crazy.
same day.
That was the same day. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a hell of a day.
Rashad song.
That was a great day.
You
for
kind of
Kendrick
hit
fans.
those notes, bro.
Yeah,
I won't lie. Yeah,
album coming soon. The Dre album. We just gonna call you Dre now.
Dre. Actually, so it's cool. We're talking about Days Before Rodeo, and one of the people featured on there is 1975.
Right.
Who are your label mates now?
Yeah.
Ain't that is that kind of surreal?
Is it surreal that they were on Days Before Rodeo?
No, just like you're on the same label as them now.
Oh, I mean, at this point, I've known them for years. I've known them since I was 19, and I'm about to be 24.
Damn.
So so I just have all the respect, especially just for like, I feel like I'm just trying to think about what I'm saying, but basically what I'm saying is like they've been so helpful and they've been open with like their advice. Like they're always willing to give advice, whenever I need to ask them anything or whenever, we talk to them about like music that we're working on or anything, they're always just like helpful and supportive. So I appreciate them, a lot because I knew who they were when I was a kid. Because like when I was in middle school, a lot of girls I went to school with were like really big.
I think that was like their time, like they were really popping.
The Tumblr,
they was going crazy.
They used to post that album cover, all the time.
So it is crazy that we ended up meeting them.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But they're just helpful. They're nice guys. I appreciate them.
That's pretty tight. Like they're peers now.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I think there's still work to do. You see the difference when you get around them. So I wouldn't say that, but they're inspirations in terms of like what they've been able to achieve.
Mm-hmm.